Well, my wife and I like to travel, and being out on the road, if you don't have a spare and you have just a tire inflator with goo in it in your trunk, perhaps you should consider taking a plug repair kit on the road with you, especially if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you don't have a spare tire and maybe the goo won't work or the inflator won't work. So here I am in the driveway. Here's the tire, and what I've done is pull the nail out. So one of the things you want to do is make sure you know what direction the nail's coming out at, or the whatever's impacted your tire. I find it easier to take it off the car. I could see the screw, end of the screw in the tire, but I sprayed some Windex on it. It was handy in the garage. I used that and then found it was bubbling. And so I have a kit that I include on my motorcycle. So when I'm on the road, I could plug a tire if I have to. And you can get these kits, they're tire plug kits at Amazon or wherever. And bring yourself a little razor blade. I don't think the kit comes with that. And you have these patches. That one I tried to get into the tire and it was kind of cutting up and I didn't want to risk it, so I removed it. But anyways, that slides in this tool here, and the tool goes then into the tire at the correct angle. Remember, when you pull out that plug or the whatever's cut into the tire, try to determine how it's coming out, what angle, and then mark the tire too, because once you pull that out, sometimes you just can't see the hole anymore. So I use a yellow marker, marked where it was on the tire in case I lost the hole. Use your reamer to ream out the tire. Once you get the screw out, I use some side cutters to pull the screw out. These are all things you could put in a bag. Here's my bags that go along with my motorcycle, but I throw them in the trunk. I throw that bag in the trunk with these things for both our Audi and our Kia. Both of them don't have spare tires. And when we go on a long road trip, we've gone cross country before, in a pinch, I could get a plug into a tire and probably move us along. Even on a sidewall cut, sometimes you can put two plugs in at once, or you can get by anyways and get to where you need to go, or get to a repair facility or whatever. And so you'll see this white stuff on there, and what I do is, rather than use this goo, this paste, rather than use that paste that's it looks to me like a lubricant, to ream out the hole and to put on the plug before you force it back into the hole, I use that this 3M product. I think it's Permatex, a thread sealer with Teflon. I've used that a lot in the truck and automotive industry to seal threads on, airlines or fuel lines or whatever like that. And I put that on there. That's why it's white. The reason I put it on is because it's thick. It's kind of dryish. I mean, it's not real wet. And I've used it on my motorcycle tires around the bead. On the last time I put that on, I didn't have any sealer, so I had that left over, put it on around the bead of the tire. And I've never had to add air to my motorcycle tires, and I'm always seems like adding air at some point. I've had them on there a year, and I've never added air to them. So I like that. I had it on hand, and wipe off the excess so you don't pick up rocks and stuff driving down the road when you're done. The plug goes in. You slide the plug through the middle into the middle and fold it over so it looks like that. It's folded over when it goes in. Then take your razor blade, pull up on the what's sticking out of the tire, and cut it with a razor as close as you can. And it'll mushroom out on the inside, and that should be a good repair. Remember, on radial tires, that these plugs, because they're kind of a rope-like substance, if you park your car in a puddle, for example, where the hole is and that plug can absorb water, that water can be absorbed like a wick up through the tire and can get into the steel cords, causing the tire to fail. But you know, if you run it on a flat tire, you're going to ruin the tire anyway. So the recommendation was to plug and patch a tire. By using this Permatex, I think that helps too, to keep the water out. It's you know, it's real, it's thick and pasty, and maybe that will help. I doubt I'll pull the tire off and patch it. I'm not going to bother with that. I'm going to see if this holds up, and I'm going to keep these things in my trunk, all my tools. And I have a pair of old needle nose I can pull stuff out with, or side cutters, diagonal cuts that I leave in this little toolkit in my motorcycle bag, and I could just move that from car to motorcycle, and always have the right tools. You just never know. You could be stuck in the middle of nowhere, and you're like, you know, holiday, there's no places, service stations open, and you have to get to them. You don't want to pay a $300 tow bill or whatever it might cost to get there. So hopefully this is helpful for you. The Permatex Teflon or Thread Seal with Teflon works good for me, but I suppose you can use something similar. Sometimes they just use the glue that comes with patches on there, but to me the glue dries too hard, where this stuff stays tacky, and I think it's probably offers a little more waterproof and helps it slide in, but probably not as good as the grease would, so you have to kind of work to get the plug in. Anyways, I hope this helps you. Take care.